They stay on the AR, what's called an aging report, for about 6 months on average. Sometimes they never get off until the foreclosure is complete. Because so that you understand, okay, let's say somebody is 90 days in arrears and $1,000 or more in a balance, okay? At that point, we have to send them a notice. We have to let them know that their voting rights are, removed, and that in 30 days from there, they're going to be sent to the attorney. Once it gets sent to the attorney, we no longer have control on over that account on the aging report. Just when I say aging report, just think delinquency list, okay? So what happens is, I was in the catch-22. If I start doing that right away, I know these people are going to be on there for 6 months, and because I had like 50 people at that time, this was not going to be under 14 units that I needed for the loan. So what did I start doing? Me, and I do not have to do this, I started actually, I've even gone door to door for some of these residents, and I was able to get about 13 people to pay. Some close to $5,000. I had like 3 or 4 people that they had like a $3,000 to $5,000 balance. I was able to get that. So then after that, and I brought this up at the meeting, I was like, okay, now we have to start telling people that they're going to be in the process of an association foreclosure. So I sent the notices out telling them that they have 30 days. This is what we have to do according to state law. That they're 90 days behind, $1,000 plus, etc., and then they get sent to the attorney. The problem is, so let's say right now, over 30 units are behind, right? Now, it's in the association's attorney's hands. So now to get that removed, they have to deal with the attorney, and no matter what, if they paid it the next day, it's going to be a 2 or 3 months process before they're taken off the AR. So what I'm trying to say to you is the AR, what we use to show the bank who's up to date, we're not even anywhere close to being able to get a loan. Like, we're so far off. And the other thing about the loan, let me go back to it, is no loan is going to be provided to an association that didn't have insurance. So we couldn't put the cart before the horse. So I was working on the insurance at the same time that I was working on trying to collect as much money before sending these people to the attorney.
Here's a question. Why have we been 8 months without insurance?
Because of the state of disrepair of your buildings, and nobody wants to write it.
But you're not the broker of the insurance?
I am. I never said
Are you?
that I wasn't.
Isn't that covered?
There's no 3 bids to get, and with association insurance, it doesn't work that way. When you say 3 bids, do you mean that did I go to 3 carriers? Oh, yes, we went to more than 3 carriers. But the thing is, if I tell you we went to more than 3 carriers and we've got, almost all of them declining your property, does that help you?
But if you could validate that, what you're saying right now, we're just taking your word for that.
Well, no, I did. When I came to one of the meetings, actually the special assessment meeting, I brought the actual chart that the broker gives me that says decline here, decline here, decline here. And some people took it, yeah. Like Andrea, she took it, and actually, I don't know if she read it or if I read it out loud, but somebody questioned it. I was like, look, here it is. But guys, here's my goal on the insurance end. And then I want to address, there was a question that I got to get back to if I can remember. But on the insurance end, here's my goal. If we can get about 30% of the rebar repairs done, which let's say that's going to cost us about $80,000, excluding engineer costs, whatever permit costs, because we have to do it with a permit. I agree. Then I can go to Citizens possibly, and I may be able to get you guys to pay half of what you're paying right now.
Okay, before even there, like,
Oh, please.
how many are the quotes you're getting?
Other people.
I don't understand, Michael, what?
For insurance, so like, let's say instead of paying $380, if the rates stay the same, now here's the thing, if Citizens doubles their rates next year, I can't tell you that. But if I can get some of these 40-year repairs done, across the board, and it doesn't have to be a lot, but I can go to Citizens and say, okay, here's the deal. We have insurance, we've been through a certain percentage of the 40-year, here's the updated engineer's report, can you give us a quote? They will not quote you how you are right now. They'll give you a quote to anybody, but a quote, just so that you understand with Citizens, I can go online, I can give you guys a number. They have to do an inspection. And when they do that inspection and they see the rebar and the balconies, and it's going to be a thorough inspection from Citizens, you guys are not going to pass. Things are very different since the collapse of that condo building. And I know that there's word around here that we could get citizens and this and that. Guys, you want me to show you a number that you're gonna love? I can't get you the actual insurance, but I can give you a citizen's quote. Doesn't mean that it's real.
Free quotes.
I talked to citizens, I did.
Okay.
What they concerned about is roofs. And they say it's they like inspect the roof and inspect the insurance.
Did you tell them that we have balconies that are literally falling apart and safety hazards according to the city? Did you fail to mention that? Because I'll tell you right now, if you tell citizens that, they're not gonna write you.
You didn't have to tell them that. They could insure us, and then we could spend the money we're spending on this insurance ridiculously.
Guys, you're
We could
accusing.
use that money to do the roofs or rebar.
Listen, I just got accused of lying to the insurance company because I was patching up to make sure the repar doesn't get more damage. You guys, remember, the board has to sign off. Okay, so that you understand, there's an application. It's called Accord Forms, okay? On these Accord Forms, it says, is there any physical damage to the buildings? On these forms, you have to say the rebar is falling, like, you have to explain all these things. And by the way, if you don't, they come out and do an inspection anyway, and they cancel you. So I got you a company that knew the issues that you have, and they wrote you. So it's legitimate insurance. Citizens, that quote is not valid until they give you the inspection. It's not, guys, the best way I can give you as an example is, okay,
Right.
you have a car, and the auto insurance carrier, sometimes they need you to go show them your car or go to like a local dealership so that they can take pictures of your car to make sure there's no damage. So if there was damage that you didn't tell them, they have the right to drop you.
Car insurance don't do that.
It's happened to me.
Doesn't have.
They never
They
done
do.
it. They never. I own cars since I was 18, and not once a car insurance asked me if I had
I
damage
can
in my
tell you
car or
4
anything
times
like
it's
that.
happened to me. Allstate is the last one.
Okay.
But you know what? I know
Never
I'm not
happened.
going to
Never
satisfy
happened.
you with
Never
anything.
happened. I live in Florida and live in Texas. It never happened.
Okay, can I ask anybody here, has there any point, at any point, I'm not saying every year.
All
but
they
at
care
any
is about
point,
how many tickets you got in the past,
I'm
how
an
old
insurance
your
agent.
car really is,
I'm an
and I
insurance
buy,
agent.
and I'm a buyer.
Okay, guys, can I ask, has anybody here ever had to actually, at one point, take their car to get pictures so that they could get insurance?
I did.
You're the only one.
You know what?
I did wrong.
And I did. After I had an
A little bit
accident.
of-
Thank
I
you.
had full
Thank you.
insurance. They had
And
to-
when they had an old car, they asked for pictures.
I'm not talking about cars.
The brand new car, no. like old
Okay,
car.
so then you know what, guys, let's not compare it to cars
They gave me a
because,
rate of $500 to repair.
but let's not compare it to cars. Then. Fine.
Listen, I want to ask you about insurance. Do we have wind insurance or not?
Yeah, you do.
We do.
And it's actually a hurricane, this is very important so you understand, it's a hurricane and wind.
Can I please
How much
get a copy?
would that
I asked Cindy, and I sent you an
Depending
email.
on the type of claim,
I
5 to
sent you an
10%.
email asking Cindy and you to send me a copy of the wind for my insurance.
Mhm.
There was still no response. Can you please send it to me tomorrow?
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
So, again, I'm asking for time.
For what? Oh, yes, okay, I'm
Sorry.
sorry, I didn't hear you. Sure.
So, in relation kind of to what he said, when I have been living with mold and moisture and actual puddles
Mhm.
inside my house for 2 years, my priority is the roof, not the rebar. I need the roof fixed so I don't have to live in a wet environment anymore.
Yes,
I need mold remediation. Do you know how much that costs?
I know it's expensive. I know it's.
And I need it, and she needs it, and other people need it. Andrew, we have to prioritize roofs. People are getting killed with water. And it is insidious, it doesn't go away, it only gets worse. And structurally, after a while, concrete and rebar,
Yes,
they get wet.
I agree.
And our building will tumble down. Somebody said they want pressure cleaning, okay? You know what I told her? If they hit our buildings with high pressure water, they might just fall down.
Well, I don't agree with that, but you know what could happen is that you guys have you guys have like hairline cracks and stuff, water will probably enter some of the
No
units.
kidding.
Yeah.
I mean, we need to fix those buildings, starting from the roof down. We need to eliminate the cracks. We need to seal the cracks.
I agree.
My hurricane window company, because somebody from the board told me, oh, it's your window in the bedroom? No. I have a lifetime guarantee on that window. I called the company. They came and they checked it. They said, you know what? There's hairline cracks all around on the outside wall. They have a mirror. They can look.
Yeah.
They fixed the ones they could reach. They didn't have to. That's not their problem. But my window is secure. The wind-driven water is coming through the cracks in the wall and the flashing up above. Because, as in her apartment, the water enters under the baseboard. All my baseboard's gone,
Yeah.
rotten. It comes in between the stucco and the concrete block and the drywall, and it runs down and it comes in the floor.
Okay.
And we need to fix this first.
Can we get roofs, give us
People
some,
can
Okay,
stay
but look,
off
I
their
can't
balcony.
hear Sharon's question, then we bounce here.
People can stay off their balconies when they feel it's unsafe.
Yes.
But I cannot stay out of my house.
I think that's a great point. And actually what you just said, that last statement, that people can stay off their balcony, you have to live in your house, you have to breathe in whatever, I 100% agree. Here's what I want to do, guys. I don't want to say the same crap that I've said before. Okay, how did we get here? We didn't have money and this and that.
Doesn't matter how we got
It doesn't matter, right? What matters now is how do I address it? So here's where I'm limited, right? Where I'm limited is, okay, I can't get a loan right now because of delinquencies. And I'm talking about even before the special assessment, because I know as soon as I say that, the people that are against C.R.E.A.M or the board or whatever, they're gonna be like, well, of course, because they can't pay the special. No, this was before the special assessment. And before anybody says, well, I don't care about the residents and forcing this down their throat, before we had the insurance, what did I just say? I went to residents because I didn't want them to get the attorney's fees. I didn't want them to possibly get a foreclosure with the attorney on my own to try to get them to pay. So I do care. But here's my situation, right? And this is what Jay Olson is telling me. You guys could test, because some of you guys think I'm a liar, right? Jay Olson doesn't care if we have to do a special assessment.
I know.
He doesn't care if we can get a loan or not. He needs this done because in his mind it's a safety issue. So where I'm looking at is I have residents calling me like Mr. Ofer. And he's saying, well, Andrew, we need to get this done. And I said, okay, Mr. Ofer, but I want to understand, how do I get the money to do this? And he goes, well, I don't want a loan. And I said, okay, so then we need to special assess. Well, we can't special assess.
What about just using our monthly dues?
Yeah. How about checking our finances?
can't do it.
Yeah.
Guys,
5 years.
We are gonna need-
When you pay interest-
Extra for 2 years, right now, 3 years, sorry guys. What is it?
I'm sorry, Tatiana, can you say
We
that?
have 100,000 coming extra since we raised $75. It's $100,000
No,
average.
no,
Yes.
that's not, okay, so what you're saying and how you're saying it is kind of like true but not true, and this is why. We didn't have a budget increase for many years.
No matter how it goes.
Hold on. It's not about that. I need to address this with her because she goes around and she starts telling people this, and she's like, okay, you know what, guys, there's $100,000 extra. So everybody hears, well, we have $100,000 extra. Where's it going?
Can I have financial?
You tell me.
Please? Can I?
If you guys look at the budget actually aligns with.
But
what
I also
the
want to look at the
increases
bank accounts. You got 6 bank accounts, and some of the bank accounts are not even in the state.
are. Okay.
In Arizona,
Well,
bank.
well, listen, here's the thing. We just got the audit done. The audit is independently done. It has
Isn't it
nothing to
due
do
in
with
May?
me.
For
What?
22?
It's due in May, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Why now?
The auditor just took forever.
What's the auditor's name?
What year?
I can tell you right now.
What
Tell me
year?
right now. What's the name of the firm?
It is Leonardo and Company, and I can give you the address too.
Okay.
I don't have a phone number here. This is just the audit form.
Leonardo, the company?
And Company.
When did
It's
you- Did you pay them
1900.
yet?
I'm sorry?
Did you pay them yet?
Yeah, they should be good to go. I mean, they sent us the actual audit recently.
Andrew,
Yes,
how
ma'am.
about the special assessment? We should start to pay you or not yet?
No, we were supposed to be paying it. Yeah, the residents are supposed to be paying it.
So we are paying whatever 250 or 300 something. Where is the money going? Is that because you said, I believe, that people not paying? So I'm doing this to pay mine, okay?
Yes.
If you ask me, do you have the money? No, I don't. So I'm
Yes.
saving all I can. Okay.
So-
And I think it's not fair that people that are paying and I'm not paying. See,
I agree.
it's done because of them.
I agree. So to explain it to you, the best way that I can is, okay, so the special assessment is taking over 9 months. The actual finance agreement is for about 11 months. The reason that we did 9 months instead of the 11 is because we had to assume that certain people weren't gonna pay. Now, the thing that stinks, okay, is let's say somebody was paying their maintenance fees, but they weren't paying their special assessment, okay? I cannot do anything, and when I say I mean the association cannot do anything until their 90 days and $1,000 balance. So until that happens, which will happen in another month, okay, we can't do anything.
Then what will you do?
Then we have to send them a 30-day notice, tell them that their voting rights are revoked, and that they're gonna be going to the attorney, and whatever fees they get charged to their ledger, which means whatever the attorney charges, they have to pay. The
And are
association
you
doesn't.
actually going to do that?
We've been doing it. Well, we've been doing it for the maintenance, but now the special assessment is gonna come up, because you have to do the math, right? Once we get to 4 months, now people will be $1,000 and 90 days
Didn't you
behind.
just say before you weren't doing it for the maintenance?
No. I said there was a time when we didn't do it for the maintenance.
But you're doing
I
it
collected
now.
as much as I can, and then we did it for the maintenance now. Yeah. So when I say now for the maintenance still, this was like a month and a half, as of the last meeting ago.
So everyone's getting letters now?
Yeah.
And if they
I had to. I don't have a choice.
Absolutely, you do.
Yeah.
And going back to the roof, since
Mhm.
about my apartment, 2013, I had problems with the roof.
Yeah.
It was getting ugly. So the roof is a priority.
So I'm sorry, the last
The
part.
roof is a priority because
What I really think we should do, guys, and I know that this.
because we are only doing like a top of my apartment is like a Band-Aid. Okay, where's the leak coming? Let's
Oh,
get that.
that's mine
Or
as
to
well.
Band-Aid.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, it is a Band-Aid, guys, but the thing is, I don't have $130,000 to spend on the roof. Here's what I would say, and I've tried to tell the board this, not all the board, but like I've spoken to Mike, for example. Now, ultimately, Mike, Cynthia, just because they're more involved with like the day-to-day, but what I've told them is, we should have a meeting with the members of the community, explain to them the situation, and then tell them, guys, listen, I want the city to be there, so you guys can hear it from me, from them, not from me, because here's what happens. When I start telling members, hey, we have to pay for the 4 year, they're like, well, I'm gonna lose my house. And then it sucks, but I have to be the one to say, the city doesn't care. And it doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound nice. People are like, well, I've been living here for 10 years or whatever. And they're like, yes.
Why you guys waited so long to take care of those things before? Why you guys waiting so long?
Okay.
Because if you guys fix things before, then we don't
Preventative care, I think.
We don't have
The problem is I don't want to keep finger pointing. So the easy answer for that is, at the time, to keep your budget low, okay, this is why the budget was so low. There were no repairs getting done. And that's what the board wanted to do.
It's all the time when you guys change the presidency, always excuse me, excuse.
How many times have you guys changed presidents in the last 14 years?
Not often enough.
No,
So
and
it was
but Beatrice, I've been here as
before everybody voting, I don't know, I don't want to point my fingers, but everybody's pointing fingers on Blanco. She did not that, she did not that, now is Nubia. Like
I'm not
she-
pointing fingers at
No, I'm
Nubia.
not
No.
saying you point any fingers,
Yeah.
but why? If you guys doesn't have a budget, like when Nubia was a president, why you guys don't make a loan?
Well,
To
when you,
fix those things, waiting for so long.
what you
Now
have to
we have to
understand.
pay a special assessment too high instead to correct the problem before.
I agree with you.
Like
And
right now, for how long we're gonna wait for the people pay for we get the loan?
here's the thing.
Or
I'm
we're
being
gonna
very.
have another special assessment? We
I'm
have
being
to
honest
fix
with you
the
guys.
problem.
You gotta pay off the insurance.
Hold on. Let's. let's address Beatrice and what she's saying, right? So let's go to the first thing, because if we stay on track, it makes everything more consistent. You said every time there's a new president, the old one gets the blame. I'm going to tell you right now, before I had anything to do with C.R.E.A.M, I was your insurance agent. I've been here for about 8 years. I know that most of those 8 years, you had one president. And in the last 3 years, you had another one. So that's not a lot of presidents. There's 2.
And during those 8 years, we also had a $1 million loan. There was a $1 million loan during those 8 years.
No, it wasn't.
Tatiana, what year was it? The assessment.
$75 increase. When Nubia started, we had a $75.
That's not $1 million loan.
There was a $1 million loan assessment that we
No,
paid
it
for.
was assessment for a loan, $36,000.
Yeah, like 75.
Okay,
Yeah.
but-
Yeah.
Okay, so let's stay on topic,
Mike-
right? Let's stay on topic. She just said $1 million loan. When I said no, she kind of shook her head. You're saying $75.
Assessment. And then my HOA went from 325 to 450. Now I'm paying 700 something dollars a month. Makes absolute fucking sense.
Guys, let's go back to the original point. There's no $1 million loan. And I have to say this because you guys start saying stuff that's not true, and everybody starts to believe it. There's not, hold on, Ms. Tatiana. There's not been any loan in the 8 years that I've been. And you don't have a loan right now, because I even heard people say that we have a loan right now. There's no loan.
We didn't have one in our.
Isn't the assessment a loan? Then why my bill went up? My bill went from 325. No, hold up. My bill went from $325 to over $450. Now it's $725. Why?
Okay,
Why?
there's $1 million
Why?
right
Where's
now.
my golf course? There's no golf course. This whole place is falling apart. And you guys actually manage the Blue Lake Association too, even though we're not talking about that, but this whole fucking gym looks like crap for what you guys are getting paid. So I don't understand is where's the money really going, Andrews?
Okay, so let's address the things again. There's no $1 million loan. The $75, so that you understand, Tatiana.
Went to the land.
First off, let me remind everybody here. Tatiana was on the board when Blanca, no, not for 2 months, when Blanca didn't, and you know what, let me say this. I think Blanca did the best that she could, okay? Listen.
The best that she did.
The best that she could. The best that she could. The best that she could.
It's not your best.
It's not, everybody's best is a little bit different, but listen, there was a time when Blanca actually did good financially. The problem is there was like 3 years where she should have increased the budget.
When
We sent her,
Ernest Creed was alive, because he watched the books. That's the only time she did anything right.
but it's not so much about watching books. You guys have to understand something, right?
She went to the hills after she hired you.
Let me address the point that I'm trying to make, so that you guys understand, right? Technically, a treasurer is supposed to create the budget, but let's be real. Management companies create the budget. So what happened is we're sending budgets that show an increase, and the board has to say yes or no. The board kept saying no to the increase. So that's when, instead of having, let's say, a $20 increase when the water went up, and another $20 increase, and another $20 increase, and then we're building up reserves, now we're getting a $75 increase, and it's just to pay like the new bills, not even to get caught up and do all these other things that we were supposed to do. So $75, it's a lot when you're one person, but it's not a lot when you look at the fact we should have had this spread out over 3-4 years. So what happened was, no, we didn't have those budget increases like every other association had. And then Nubia came, and she actually tried to correct the course. And I have to tell you something. She did a good job with that. Listen, every board member you get is going to have their own flaws. I'll tell you right now, I'd rather have to deal with a flaw and have the financials in better shape versus the financials totally out of whack. If we did not have Nubia right now, there would be no doors. You for sure wouldn't have any time, even this little patching up and band-aid or whatever, there would be nothing. There's nothing.
What company installed it?
So Sawtech with turnkey. Sawtech is licensed and insured as a general contractor. Yes, ma'am.
Andrew, I think we talk a lot about money's wrong amount or right amount, whatever.
Yes.
I have been suggesting this a long time. Why don't we get a newsletter, like monthly newsletter, with
That
the
costs too
report.
much money.
With the report, because we are here for about 40 minutes, let's put it this way, talking about things that is true, is not true.
Yeah.
If you guys could mail, okay, the report, we don't have.
Anybody
to be
can
talking
create
about-
an invoice on the computer, on the QuickBooks. Everybody can create any numbers on QuickBooks. What you can do is falsify bank statements.
Okay, I heard you, please. Let me finish.
Go ahead.
So if you put the numbers or the proof of the numbers on where, make it like clear for us. We want to.
Transparency is what
talking.
she's saying.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think I'm wasting my time here. I'm sorry, I just came from work,
Yeah.
I ran here to be on time, okay? And now we're talking amount of money that may be true, maybe not true.
Yeah.
We need to have this so we can move and concentrate
Well, look,
on what is very important.
We obviously don't have a quorum, so there's no board meeting, so it's gonna have to get rescheduled to next week, right? As far as you saying you're wasting your time, I'm gonna tell you guys how I really feel.
Why is that?
I'm here at a meeting, the people who don't believe me, there's nothing I can say that are gonna make them believe me. If I bring the financial
Because it's
reports,
personal.
but let me say something else, If I bring the financial reports, that's not gonna be good enough for her, she just said it. She wants the actual bank statements, okay, I bring the bank statements, it's gonna match the financial reports.
We filed
Then what?
DDPR, and you never gave
Then you
it.
know what? It doesn't matter because somewhere I lied. She's still saying that I said $200,000 to replace the roof, and I didn't say that. So what I have to understand, you have to understand my position. It seems to be in my spot where it's like, okay, you know what? I have some people that are being a little bit reasonable. I have Tatiana who has no experience in insurance. No offense. I've been an insurance agent since basically 18, and I don't look like I'm 50, but I'm 34 now. I started in condo insurance. I actually opened up my own agency because I did so well at John Galt Insurance, and they will still take me back any day. So I know how Citizens works because when I first got in, Citizens was the only game in town. All these carriers had left, and only Citizens existed. I have a person here telling me that does not write insurance. I called Citizens, and they told me this. And I just said to her, are you telling them about the balconies that are falling apart? We don't have to tell them that. How come if I said that to you guys would be jumping down my throats? She said that, nobody's saying anything to her.
Andrew, they know what to look for and what to ask. We don't have to tell them what to look and what to ask. We
You're
didn't
saying,
try.
you guys mentioned insurance fraud? That's insurance fraud.
No,
That's
not
not insurance fraud.
That is
fraud.
insurance fraud.
No, it's not.
It is insurance
It's
fraud.
not.
Insurance fraud is you patching the work and try to get us insurance.
This company,
No,
Andrew.
no.
You
First off-
Just say, dude.
No, I did patch the work to try to get us insurance. I already got the insurance.
Yes, exactly, that's the fraud, you did, you know? So don't tell us, or me, or you know? You
No, I'm gonna tell you
lie.
straight up. You don't know what you're talking about. I did not say.
According to the Blue Lakes bylaws, the management company is not allowed to be the actual broker. You have to get a
you
broker
send that to
separated.
me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I would appreciate
Yes, I
that.
can.
Okay, cool. That would be the first time I saw it specifically in bylaws. Okay.
And here's the question.
Yes, Norma.
Okay, we need so much money to fix the building for the 40-year inspection.
Yes.
A lot of things, the roof also has to be done. Since we're not able to get the loan now, what's gonna be the scenario, the future, the financial future? If you keep going without being able to get the loan, is the scenario like we're gonna have a big assessment for everyone, for an owner, because you need the money, so what are you gonna do?
Yeah. This is what I would say, guys. And you know, look, you guys are calling me a liar. I'm going to tell you straight up. I'm being honest with you guys. I would say that you have to expect a special assessment. And I know that Tatiana, no offense, but she's going to go out and say, Andrew's saying $2 or $3 million and this and that. Guys, the bottom line is, if it costs $500,000 or $1 million or $1.5 million, which I think it's in that range, we're going to have to do a special assessment.
She wouldn't have
I don't
to
have
find
a choice.
as lawsuits, anything like that, if maintenance has been done.
I'm sorry.
Maintenance has never been done properly in this condominium.
The maintenance.
Maintenance have never been done properly in our condominiums for the reason Sharon's apartment is getting water damage to the fungi. Tatiana had a problems too, and that's why she had to sue because you guys are not doing anything.
Yes,
It's the board's fiduciary duty to maintain our
exactly.
properties
Yeah,
as
it's
livable.
true.
Well,
And they're not doing it.
I actually agree, and here's the thing. It is the board's fiduciary duty to do the special assessment. It really is.
Special assessment.
Well, is there fiduciary?
What exactly you're paying for it? You need to be on list, Norma.
A drive
We'd like to have,
Yes.
Oh, I agree, I agree,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
agree, I agree.
So
So,
many people are
so what are we
behind,
going to do about
behind the
that?
payment.
Well, I think what we should do is we should have that meeting next week, because we need to have a forum meeting. We need to have a regular meeting.
The law.
He had a tooth
But if you
abscess,
could go on.
like he had an emergency dentist meeting, so,
Okay.
but we need to have another meeting, right? So what I would
That's
say
why I
is
want
we
the
get
big
some of the
standards on
residents
the
over so that they can understand, because look, I understand, I'm not
Where the money is.
there's some people that are gonna say what I'm saying here and twist it,
So,
but
I'm
if
afraid-
people,
I'm
if I can just get
afraid
a
it's just
small
a
amount of
big
people to
assessment.
You cannot
understand,
get
hey,
somebody
big
else.
this is the
assessment.
situation, it's not because Andrews people,
You're gonna
the
just
city's
fix
telling
that.
us, we have to fix this, it's a safety
You know that.
issue. And by the way, we have people that have mold remediation.
No.
That needs to be done, they're continuing to have roof leaks. Here's the thing, people think mold in your unit, right?
Yes.
But let's think a little bit deeper. The walls, yeah, you have a firewall, but if you don't take care of that, eventually the mold spreads to your neighbors. So neighbors have to think, and I hate to say it this way, but I've seen the attitude here with some of the residents, well, it doesn't affect me, that's not my problem.
No, that's
But here's the thing, it does affect them, they just might not know because they're not visually seeing it. It may be that there might be a health issue or, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to be real about it. Like, it needs to be addressed.
Andrew, if you wanna have more people in these meetings, it's notice have to be done couple weeks prior, at least, not couple days.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna tell you, at most, I've seen board members post a meeting like a week in advance, like 3 weeks in advance, that things happen.
Christmas
Like, look at
coming
what
up.
happened.
At
This-
least
I
a couple
would
days.
like to say something, was like 6 o'clock is kind of early, people work. And putting the poles, by the elevator, there are a lot of people that they don't take the elevator. I live on the 50th floor, sometimes
Okay.
I take stairs, so people won't see it.
Yes.
Maybe you can put ballot or something that people.
Cost
I
money.
apologize. And we
Maybe
can
you
go.
know.
And
She
another
wants
thing
to
that I
be
wanna
on-
ask you.
Yeah.
Now,
I see a house on the census with a termite problem, and now there is a house over there with termite problem. I mentioned to Nubia, maybe it's 8 months ago, I don't remember how long, that my neighbor has like the little things on the floor.
Oh, like, yeah, the dropping.
And she kinda laughed and said, oh, that's not termite, please, Moses, something like that. But that needs to be taken care of. We're talking about mold in her apartment, maybe on mine, but that is a big issue as well. So I'm just bringing that. I don't know if you know, but
I didn't know that, but here's what I would say to that. That is important, but here's the thing.
there are a lot of things important.
We need to create a priority list. I already know the priority list, but the thing is, I'm very limited in my power, right? Whatever I say, the board has to approve. Now, I will say, you do have a good board. I know
You're
some
the president
people.
right now, so we can't do it.
Well, listen, there's gonna have to be an appointment there, but I can tell you right now, Mike can save you guys at least $10,000 in elevator repairs, like, but besides that
How does he
is,
do that?
what do you say?
How does he do that?
Because sometimes the elevator, it has like a breaker that flips, and all he needs to do is go in there and turn on. If we call the connections elevator company, they'll charge us $300 or $400 just for that. Sometimes it's happened 2 or 3 times in a day. Yeah, but they still charge for service calls. They don't
They
call
do?
for free. Yeah, of course.
I thought we got so many a month.
No.
We have a
Well,
contract.
Yes, well, let me focus on this. So we need to create a priority list, and here's the reality of it, right? The structure is number one. And I'm not saying that the roof isn't part of the structure, but I do have to separate the roof, because when I say structure, I'm talking about what the 40-year in the city is looking for. And the thing is, if we can address that, that's our best shot at citizens, right? So that would possibly save us money if we could save, let's just say, even on the low end, $60,000 or $80,000, that's 70% of the roof next year, of one roof.
A next year roof?
Well, when I say next year, not the
How
entire
much
year.
is the roof? How much is the roof?
About 115 to 130. Like D is gonna be at 130 because D is technically 2 buildings. So, but like C would be about 115.
You're talking about the new roof, right?
To do it the right way, because what happened was when the roof was last done, it wasn't done right. So it wasn't leveled the right way. Water sits, like I can show you guys pictures, you literally have tadpoles and like pools of water.
And vegetation.
Now what we've done so that you guys can understand is we installed pumps up there so that we can drain the water. And it has helped a lot because I can tell you after a heavy rain, we might have gotten like 12 calls, 14 calls. We're getting like 3 or 4. Now, I'm going to tell you the other side of it too. Again, being upfront. These Band-Aids, it's just a matter of time before you guys have another leak. If we fix it, it's possible there's going to be another issue. So the reason is the roof itself needs to go, especially in C and D. In A and B and E, we don't need a new roof. We don't.
Ain't building you do.
So,
We
you're
got a lot of
telling me I have to
leaks
live
there.
like this?
Let me put it this
until
way.
you can afford
D is the worst, C is second in line, and A, if we had to do a third roof, A is the next one.
Yes.
B is good enough and E is good enough. I rarely get building B a leak. E, I don't know, maybe like every 3 months.
Estimate how long it'll be before my roof is fixed.
I would say depending on the next meeting, if we could get people to understand about the special assessment.
Andrew, I asked you a question earlier in the meeting, but you didn't answer, and
Okay.
it's bothering me a lot.
Sure.
I did go over the August financials
Okay.
that were posted by our building. And, I saw that there were 4 or 5 checks written in August to a company called Turnkey Services.
Yeah, so Turnkey is a
It was
company.
a total of about $21,000.
So I can explain that. So that's the roof pumps, that's door replacement, and I think there's something else in there. But the roof pumps and the door replacement, I'm trying to think of the third.
But why can't I know that from a written product?
Well-
Why do I just have
Yeah.
to see Turnkey Services, which I know that is a company that Pre-M owns?
Yeah, we own it,
It's a
but,
holding company, basically.
well, basically the way it works is that we work with licensed and insured vendors, and then they give us bulk discount prices if we combine all the work between different
So
associations.
why haven't they pulled any permits if they're licensed?
Well, the roof pumps did not require a permit. The doors, we could get a permit. It's still not too late to get a permit for that. But it will pass.
$21,000 worth of work. I would like to know what it was.
Well, I mean, the
Can I
doors,
know that?
yeah,
It's not mine.
the doors are wind resistant doors. It's not like standard doors.
No. I want to see it in black and white.
Yeah.
But
Well, why
I
don't
want
we
to
do
see
this?
who you paid
The company.
through Turnkey Services. I want to see which vendors you paid my $21,000
The
to.
vendor says.
Okay.
That's
I see
not
what you're
enough
saying.
just to tell me Turnkey Services. I know that's a holding company.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
need to
Norm,
know the actual things I bought with my money. Is that too
Okay.
much to ask, or do I deserve to have that information?
Of course you
I
do,
mean,
the resume.
I'm trying to understand your question correctly. So if you're asking like for the roof pumps, like I can tell you,
No,
okay,
I'm asking $21,000, 1,000 here, 2,000 there, 50 cents there. I want to know how it was spent, who
Okay.
was paid, and
When
what
was
it
it
was
made?
for.
Well, no, the way you
Do
look
I
at it.
deserve to know that or not?
No, the way you look at it is turnkey was paid for if we bought a door, if we bought whatever, that turnkey got paid
So
for.
I need to know that.
Yeah, but that's
Tell
not
me
a
verbally.
problem.
I can't remember it all verbally.
No, I understand, but like,
Yeah.
let's say for a door replacement, right? The association didn't buy the doors, turnkey bought the doors. So we got paid,
Understood.
yeah,
Why can't I see it in black and white?
because that's not, when you do a financial report, right? You're seeing a couple different things. So number one, we do take the AR off of there, which is the delinquency report, because I personally.
I know it's illegal.
It's not illegal anymore, actually, but I don't like putting people's personal information out
Andrew,
there.
you're skirting the issue here.
No, listen,
You are skirting.
listen to what I'm saying. So then you see what's in the bank accounts, and then you see the checks that were paid out. So that's how you know that turnkey was paid.
Yes.
But you would never see like a financial report doesn't say you're paying for X, Y, Z. But I can personally show you that. That's not a
That's
problem.
part of our financial record.
No, it's not. No, it's
Why
not.
not? Yes, it is.
Because it's like,
Yes, it is.
let me give you an example. Let me give you an example.
It's What's
No,
that
you don't,
money?
you guys don't understand what I'm saying. Hear me out for a second. Marcio and Jose get paid, right? You see the check that's sent to Marcio, but you don't see the hours that he got paid.
You're changing the subject.
Yes.
You're just
Mhm.
really backing us around. You know what we want.
Yes.
We want to know how our money's spent, and it's being hidden from us by going through turnkey services.
No, I can show you an invoice right now.
It is being hidden from
No,
us.
it's not. It's not. And you know
Well,
what? I
then
don't,
why don't you publish it?
Yes.
because you're asking for two separate things.
So?
No, you can't say so. You can't say so because here's the thing. If you understand what a financial report is, you're gonna understand why I'm explaining this to you. You're asking for a breakdown of every, specifically turnkey, let's say, but it wouldn't be like specifically turnkey. What you're saying is a financial report would include stuff that it doesn't include. It doesn't include every vendor we paid and why we paid them. It just says what's been
It
paid.
should. I should be privy to that information.
You are privy to that information, though.
By law, I am privy to that information. Also, another question about all of this.
Can I address
Another
that?
question quickly.
Yes.
$3,000 for petty cash.
Oh, yeah.
Hello?
Okay, but can I address your question? You can't sit here and tell me something should that isn't standard. What you can tell me is, like you said, you are legally allowed to get the information. I'm not going to make you get a records request for that. At the next meeting, I'll bring the turnkey invoices. As a matter of fact, if you give me a second, I'll show you the turnkey invoices. I don't mind doing that. But guys,
Email it to me.
can you just do me a favor? Instead of like thinking I'm doing something wrong, like listen to what I'm saying. Like the financial reports, it's never going to show that. But if you say to me, Andrew, listen, I want to know you have $21,000 here, right? What did you pay? How much were the roof pumps? I can show you that.
Andrew, when I try to contact you, you rarely answer me.
Well, I'm saying like right now. You're asking me right now, then let's go through it right now.
Andrew,
I actually want to address this right now before you leave, because I don't want you guys leaving and then you're hearing me say two separate things. I'm saying you are privy to that information.
Go for it.
Yeah, and bringing
Andrew.
that 3,000 would be nice.
You can print it out for
Yeah,
us.
Print it out for us for next meeting.
Yeah, please print it out, the company
And the 3 quotes. We need the 3 quotes too.
What about petty cash?
I'm just
Yeah.
wanting to know what
I wanna know, I wanna
So-
know petty cash.
Oh, I don't have the petty cash. I'm saying for the turnkey invoices, since we create them, I can show you. So this is the balance for the doors. Now what we do is Jose paints the doors, so we actually credit him for the hours that he goes and paints the doors. So if you see there's a credit there. So this is an example of one set of doors.
That was one check you wrote for $4,500.
Minus the 62, right? So now the roof pumps, I can find it for you if you give me a moment here. And listen, anybody else want to see this? This is for the doors right here, so everybody can see.
how much is it per door?
So
Per
you
door.
have
Per door. That's all.
900
$900 per door?
with installation and everything else.
$1,200.
Wow.
And everything.
So
Holy. $900 per door.
So if it's not a big deal, please make it available to us.
sure, and look, I want to show you something. This is how the actual invoice looks too, because I was showing you the software. But this is what was actually paid, so you can see. And that's the credit for Jose. So what we do is we credit him. He gets paid $12.50 an hour times 5 hours. So if you see the 5, $12.50.
Oh my God. I didn't know that. I did not know that. That was, what's the name?
This is right.
And it
Not
was
new.
new as town.
The new building?
Now tell me what is not, what is right about any of that.
Guys, I'm not going to sit here and argue that part. That's for the U.S. residents. You guys have
But it's
to.
just a simple example.
But please, before you guys leave, can I show you the roof pumps?
So many things around here that aren't kosher. Aren't
Okay,
kosher.
thank you for
You
coming.
know what it means? We're not kosher.
Yes, I know.
Bye. Don't leave me, guys.
Okay,
Not
thank you. Have a
not
good
lot of
night.
confidence, Andrew. Not a lot.
Well, you know what? At least if I can give you confidence in this and I can show you the invoices, because I don't want you guys to like be mulling over it and this and that.
$21,000 is a lot of money for 1 month.
Can you send us?
It's more than the total budget for
I
the
got
year.
4 minutes.
Well, the thing is that we actually took care of the doors, and NACS works through us for the roofing. So before, to give you an idea, we were paying All-American Roofing, and we were paying like $1,800 to $2,500 just for the Band-Aid repairs that you're talking about. Right now, with NACS through turnkey, You guys are averaging about $1,200. And I can show you guys that, we're saving you money.
Well, maybe you should change the roofing company then, because their patches are not working.
Make sure he knows that.
It's not gonna be a permanent fix.
Next month.
I'm telling you, we need to
It's
do
not
this.
that-
Next week he's
It's
gonna
not
have to
even
pay.
short-term
Here's our
fix.
maintenance next month.
Every
We
time
can't
it
do it.
rains.
No, that, I'm gonna tell you, even All American Roofing, that they were doing these big repairs and we were paying 2,500, there was one 3,200, the leaves came back. But you guys have to understand, it's like,
I can't understand, no matter what you say,
we need to do the re-roof.
why can't my roof be fixed?
We need to do the re-roof. It's all Band-Aid, what you guys said, it's true.
I
I'm not gonna sit here and tell you
cannot
it's
live
not.
like this anymore.
Now, I will say though, like 60 to 70% of the roof leaks that we have repaired in the last 3 months, they have been fixed. But yours, I know every time you got fixed,
Mine it rained last week.
I know, but 60 to 70% of the repairs, they're gone, and that's it, we don't have to do it. Yours is one of the ones that keeps coming back, it keeps,
Mine never went away.
I'm listening to you, but I'm looking for something while I listen to you. Yes, sir.
Doing the paperwork.
Paperwork?
The job they're doing.
He wants the financials in detail, just like we all do.
Money in the paper.
He wants to see where his money's going. Yes?
Those
Okay.
got 8 years of bank statements.
You do?
I want them. I want them. We asked through the DBPR. We asked it.
So
Yeah,
that,
when
an
hired.
inspector for what?
We're allowed to do it.
That's the least, it's not to like us.
I know, I know, we all deserve.
No, because the city inspector doesn't have.
Absolutely, we deserve it.
No,
No,
now,
I'm
if you
with
do a
them.
re-roof,
I
then
read
yes,
it.
the city inspector would come out, but that's
And they
not
read it for us.
$100.
How much?
I can't tell you how.
Andrew,
Yes.
we wanna know what our maintenance is gonna be next year. Do you have any idea?
No idea right now, but we are finishing up the budget.
Are we gonna raise it?
Oh, well, what do you think?
I would expect so, because what you have to understand is
No,
that.
no, because, you know, we need to know that, so we can make a budget. And I live on a budget.
Where's our golf course? Where's our golf course?
Yes.
I live on a budget. I didn't know what my budget's gonna be for next year. Now, not 6 months down.
Kurt,
You can't do it right now.
you wanna know it now? I can't give you a budget right now, man. Come
Oh,
on.
forget that, Kurt. Putting the cart before the horse.
Let's talk about also another question, elections.
Yes, it's next May.
Next May.
Yeah,
Why
so
not
we had it in
December?
May and then it would be next May.
When are we going to receive the form to be able to apply for candidacy?
I wanna say the first one gets sent 45 days before the election.
The election's supposed to be done in December.
No.
And we'll have to the 2021. I never received the
I know, it
paperwork
says in the
to vote.
January, actually.
Yeah, but the thing is because the last election was held in May, you would do it a year later. I mean, they can do it after.
It's supposed to
but
be
they can't do it.
January to
We got all screwed
December.
up on it, because she didn't want the elections, but she was sure.
It got delayed originally, and then that's why we're keeping that date.
So she
going.
And how come the empty seats, who's going to be president? Mike's supposed to stand for presidency,
Mike is supposed to what, I'm
to
sorry?
become the president.
Well, the way that it works is Mike is acting president since he's vice president until they elect a new person, and then, let's say the board could say, okay, well, we want Cynthia or Mike to be president. then
When
they
are you going to
vote.
receive the paperwork to run? Because all residents have the right to run for those positions. Although HOA is the one who's going to
Well,
vote
there's no-
for this one right now,
Okay, so-
because we don't have a president right now. It's some empty seats.
When you
What
say
if we all
election,
volunteer?
okay, hold on, let me answer her question. When you say election, you understand that that empty seat, there's no election for it. So the way it
But
would
who's
work-
going to be in there? You cannot just pick and choose whoever.
No, so what happens is at the next meeting, whoever's available, the board will have a meeting. They say, look, if this is what they decide to do at that meeting, we have an open seat, and we'd like to. Where's the second?
So they.
You know what, let me answer your question. I don't want to get distracted, so that you really understand. So like, let's say you're here at the
Right.
next meeting. They'll say, okay, during this meeting, we're gonna give people a chance to fill Nubia's spot. Are there any candidates that are willing, right? So then you would stand up, you give a little intro for yourself, whoever else wants to do it, then the board votes to appoint for that empty seat. Is
Right,
it's
that
not an
I
actual
understand,
election,
but
right?
I know that people have to have the opportunity to actually fill up the proper paperwork
There's
to
no
do that.
paperwork.
There's no paperwork.
No. It's exactly what I just said to you.
Mhm.
So at the next meeting, now they don't have to do it at the next meeting. I think they probably
Fighting
will.
over your position.
It doesn't matter. The board elects it. The board elects to that, yes. It's not a situation where, like, let's say there's 100 residents here, and they're like,
I wanna do it.
Yeah, this is not the actual May election, this is
And
the
so they
spot.
get to pick.
And then the May election will be May goes
Yes, that
to
is.
yes.
December.
Yes, that is.
How
It's
come
not-
there was
it
a
doesn't
rollover
work
in
like that.
2021?
I'm sorry?
There was a rollover of candidates in 2021, but
Okay.
no residents received the opportunity to run for the elections in the year 2021.
Yes, we did. I got the information.
I got it too.
I
Some
know.
people did, some people didn't.
So, well, hold up, that is some people did, some people didn't. Everybody has to be able
I
to get it.
know, I know.
Well, listen, you know, this year, I mean, not this year, but this election coming up, I understand that people were saying they didn't get it. So on top of the fact that we're gonna mail out because that's required by law, what we're also gonna do is I'm gonna have the maintenance post on the door to make everybody aware, hey, this is, if you're interested in this is what you need to do. We're also sending mailer out, etc. Because you can
You
technically,
can't do that to renters. You can't post it on renters' doors.
well, we can post it on every door. If it's a renter, they can't apply.
Doesn't hurt
obviously.
anyone.
Yeah, it's,
Okay,
it's
okay,
like,
okay. By the way, I want to ask you.
It has to be
about
sent
Nubia.
by mail.
You know,
it is gonna be sent by mail. I'm just saying, in addition to that, so that nobody could say, oh, well, we didn't get it. Well, they can, but,
write it down?
yes, Leonard and Company.
Hey, I want to ask you a question.
Yes.
Nubia has 2 rental units, had 2 rental units. Those rental units are still full, from what I understand. Do those renters have
Jose
to?
moves out.
She's sold.
Okay, how about the other one? No, I'm just asking, are those people allowed to stay until their term?
In the
Or do
bylaws
they
that I
have to move
have,
out?
and I read,
Kurt,
if you
here's the
are
thing.
the president or in the board,
I would have to
you're
ask
not
Cindy
allowed to
about that.
buy
I don't deal with
second units.
rentals and that's
Okay,
not
I'm
my,
asking
Yeah.
tomorrow.
yeah, that's not my forte.
No, I'm just asking.
That's in the.
So, the
What, they
first
have to move out,
apartment,
right?
she was not on the board.
They have to be
She
in
was
the-
on the
Can't
board.
be rented
Once she was in
for
the
the
board,
first
she
year,
was
but
not
that's
allowed
a
to buy another
technicality if somebody's already
It's
there.
called
Okay.
interest
No,
only.
no,
This is
no.
actually on the board.
Okay, I will.
Conflict of interest, I didn't know
Yeah.
that.
It's probably
It's in favor of brokers.
in the
Yes.
document.
I didn't know that.